All right, so today I know that you guys have problems with ArcGIS, so I'm giving this lecture to know how can we shift from ArcGIS to ArcGIS Pro. So I'll just like
Sometimes like
yeah. Okay, yeah. So today I think ArcGIS, yeah, because when I have lots of things going on my laptop. So yeah. Yeah, so today I'm gonna show what is the difference, how we can using our knowledge in ArcGIS and transfer to ArcGIS Pro. What is the difference? How's the interface from ArcGIS desktop is different from ArcGIS Pro? So when you open ArcGIS Pro, it's kind of like an icon, something like this. And the reason that I'm shifting from ArcGIS to ArcGIS Pro because you guys have an access to the Pro one, not the desktop one. So were you able to get access? With FIU, just search on Google ArcGIS FIU. Then it will let you in and you will have to use your Panther ID and password and you will be able to download the software. If you didn't, just like try to communicate with me and we can do it together. But if you have FIU ID and the password, you can download and most of your students here in the class were able to. How about ArcGIS? Were you able to get it? So your work ArcGIS works fine with you?
yeah, it's not that.
Oh, you mean on Citrix, right?
Yes.
Okay, so the reason is the one on Citrix is slow and you cannot download ArcGIS desktop on your you remember in our class last semester we had to download a trial version. There's no trial version with ArcGIS. You will have to purchase $100 license. So FIU has an access to ArcGIS Pro for free. So, and then you can download it on your computer, not through Citrix. So you download it on your computer and then we will shift to use this. And they are very close. I'm going to show you very quick. So here's the icon of the ArcGIS Pro. It's something like this. The most interesting thing about ArcGIS Pro, it has 3D GIS. ArcGIS desktop, it's only 2D. So this is one of the things that are advanced in this one. And this one has lots of tools, it gets lots of updates. You can do Python coding in this one much easier and faster from the ArcGIS desktop. Okay, so when you open ArcGIS Pro, you will find these three things that you can start as a new project. So you can start a map. Starting a map will not be it will not be a 3D. So the map you will be dealing with this software as ArcGIS desktop. It cannot be a 3D, but if you are working with ArcGIS Pro as a map, like 2D, and at some point you decide to convert this map to a 3D, you can do that. On a map, what is the good thing about map? It's less, it's not as slow as the other ones because this is a 2D mapping, not 3D mapping. So 2D mapping is much faster than 3D mapping. So if you choose map, it will be much faster for you. There is two things. Catalog is just like you manage files. You manage shape files and how can you transfer them from a file to file. And global scene and local scene. That's what I use usually because these have 3D. Global scene, if you have data on a very large scale, like at continent scale or at the Earth scale. So you will be able to see the whole Earth. But most of my applications is a local scene, like a city, a county, a state. So this one is the one that I most use. But all of them are convertible, like you can convert local scene to global scene, you can convert map to global or local scene. So everything is convertible. Okay, so let's start with local scene. So when you start with local scene, we'll ask you, where do you want to save the project? So let's actually go here. This is our class. And let's make a folder with name ArcGIS Pro. ArcGIS Pro is really good. Like, I mean, if you have, right now we'll learn at some softwares with each other. We'll learn HECRAS, 3 lectures, ArcGIS, another 3 lectures. Here, ArcGIS Pro, if you have all these packages in your CV, you will be in different place. If you really know how to use them, not just like seeing my lecture and that's it. You will have to know how to use them. So, okay, so let's here put ArcGIS Pro applications. And I will grab the
directory of this folder and put it here. Or you can basically open folder and open the same folder. It's the same thing. And I will call this, actually, we have an exercise on Galveston. So let's say Galveston. Let's see what is the folder that we have here in the city that we are going to work with. Shape files, and we have Galveston Island polygons. Table.
What happens if you choose a full map and then do the base map imagery, but you have a full map in ArcGIS? Because that's what I did.
What was that?
Instead of choosing local
Scene?
local scene, you choose map.
You can convert them. I will show you how to convert it.
I mean, but
It's okay. You can work with map.
Okay.
It's the same thing. But the thing is, with map, there's other tools that you cannot convert the building to 3D. I'll show you how to convert them to 3D. Okay, so let's name this folder Galveston, because this is one of your homework, Galveston County. Let's say GC, Galveston County, building, Galveston County. And I'll say, or Galveston Island, I believe it's island, not the whole county. Yeah, it's the island. And I will say, okay, right now I created the folder. It says there was something here. Okay, I want to start a new one. Okay, takes some time. It prepares your scene. You see here, you will have 3D layers. In the scenes, you will start to see 3D layers. In the map, you will not see 3D layers. So you can have 2D and 3D layers, whatever you want. I'm starting a new project, and it's still like loading the space area. And that's the difference between ArcGIS and ArcGIS Pro. It takes a little bit of a time to load the base map, and load everything, specifically when you start with 3D. Okay, so this is, it looks like a map, but actually what you can do with your control on your computer and your scroll, you can convert it to 3D. Can you see? Right now it's a 3D. You can move and shift it as a 3D layer. No, it's just like the base map. It's a 3D. You can like go, not moving this, but you can rotate. So you'll see right now. I don't have any layers yet. This is just a base map. Okay, so let's get the layers. So to get a layers, you will have, this is actually the shift from the old school softwares to the new, like, or the most advanced like softwares. How, like, if you guys, I'm not sure if any of you working with AutoCAD 2010, it was like, there was no Raven. It was just like the ArcGIS old toolbox, and you pick from them. Most of the new software, even Word, AutoCAD, Revit, they have Raven in the top, and some tabs. You click from this tabs, and it opens, this tabs like map, insert. Once you click a tab, you find tools with this tab, but most of the old school software, it's just the toolbars. The bar has everything, and you pick from this bar. But this one is just like, try to have a tab, and from this tab, there is a bunch of tools that you can use. If you guys remember the old Word, this stuff wasn't there. Like the new Word has also tabs. So that's how most of the software is shifted. Okay, so there's some tabs. One of them is map, insert, analysis, view, edit. I'll show you what exactly that we are looking for from these, and what we are using and what we are not using. Okay, so let's first start with map. So basically, most of our data, most of our stuff will be on map, like explore, like if you want to zoom in, zoom out, seeing the whole scene. If you want to go to a specific location, XY location, if you want to change the base map, like for example, here, if you'll click on this map, you can change, this one is called topographic map. You can change to imagery. So imagery, it gives you the real sense of how's the topography look like. You can change to whatever base map that you would like. And if you want to add data, you can add data from here. Like you click add data, there's different ways to add data. You can add XY point data. Do you guys remember when we want to convert the wind speed from XY points to shapefile and from shapefile to raster? So this you can do it from here. Also, you can add the data. Actually, this is the most simple way to add data. That's what I do. I make my screen like this and I drag the shapefile, this file. Actually, I told you, when we have data about the buildings, you will have a bunch of folders. One of them is .spn, .brg, .project. So there's one that .shp, shape. This one is the one that you can drag, not the other ones. Okay, so I drag the one, the .shp, this one, I can drag it and drop it here. It will be dropped. Any data, like sometimes when we deal with a community, you have a bunch of data about the buildings, about the networks, power, water, transportation. So you have your ArcGIS on the right, and on the left is the folders, and you keep dragging rather than open a folder, choose a folder. Yeah, so I drag the folder, it takes some time. He recognized that this is a 2D layer. This is a 2D layer. And the shapefile will be here. So if you want to check what data inside this shapefile, what we do in ArcGIS, we go to the attribute table. So I click on this, you will find almost the same thing. If you want to copy, group, attribute table, create a, you will find a little bit difference, like creating a charts. This wasn't there, maybe it's there. If you want to zoom to this layer, if you want to go to symbology to change the color of the points, to change the size. If you want to go to the properties, it's the same thing. But what I want right now is the attribute table. Let's go to the attribute table and check what we have there. Takes some time, like in ArcMap, it's like this. It open right away.
It's also because it's the 3D one. When you use
Yeah,
map
the
one,
2D, it's very fast.
I'm doing exactly what you're doing, and it's slower than when I did it in map.
Okay, well, you tell us.
Because of the 3D property problem.
All right, so here I have the shapefile with all the data. I make sure that I have 29,000 buildings and I have all the data here. Let's see, what if we want to add data to this folder? So if you want to add data, do you guys remember if we want to add a field and name this field something, maybe the building height, the wind speed, whatever data, you go to add here. And once you open add, it will open another. Let's put this here. Just like want to keep seeing the map. Yeah, here. All right, so here is the fields, like all the fields that you have in your folder. Like you have the wind archetype, the flood archetype, the ground elevation, the first floor elevation. So what I'm gonna do right now, I'm gonna add a new field. So let's see how we do it. Okay, so this is the field name. So let's name this field height. And actually, let's give the format of this field. I double click on the number format, and I click on these 3 points, and I want a numeric format. There's percentage, currency, rate. I want numeric, a number. And it tells you how many decimal for this number. You can keep the 6. You can change the decimal to whatever you would like. I will say okay. And what data type that you have? Are you gonna have numbers? Are you gonna have letters, text? So I'm gonna have building height. So I would say, how about having double? So short integer is an integer that doesn't have decimals. So you will have a short integer. There is a long integer which is almost like kind of the same to double. Float is a mixed between text and numbers, and there's a text. You can use directly text. I will pick double. And once you are done, you will have to click on save on the top. This one. This is a little bit different from the normal ArcGIS.
This one, you can,
I think, yeah, there's different ways. Like, you mean like click on this layer and say save. Yeah, this is another way.
but anyway, anything here related to this, if you want to delete, filter, you can do it from there, and actually you can click here and say save, or even you want to delete them. Same thing, you will find it here, cut, copy, delete, cut, copy, delete, save, new field, everything is here. So you can click on
Save. And once you save this layer, all right, so we have an error. I believe because I have it open another where. Because I have this layer opened here. So I believe that's the problem. You cannot adjust a layer. So right now you have your layer opened in ArcGIS, and I have it open in ArcGIS Pro. I'm already using the layer in another software, so you cannot adjust it in another software. You will have to close this. So, okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna export this layer and make another one. Let's also learn how to export layer. Before I do this, let's cancel the whole thing, discard. Okay, I'm gonna export this layer and work with another one, the same one, but it's in different files. So I'm gonna export this layer. So this is how we are gonna save a layer. If you have a layer and you want to export it as a shape file in another document, so you can go to the output location. Actually, I'm gonna make the output location somewhere here. Let's make a new folder and call it lecture 15. Lecture 15. And I'm gonna make a new folder, shape files. Control C. So I'm gonna put the new layer. I'm gonna export it here. And I will name it Galveston County Building Polygons and .shp. I'm not sure if I have to put the extension, but it captures what extensions that we are gonna work with. And then I will say, okay, so right now I'm exporting the layer that is already being used by ArcGIS desktop to another folder so I can start different processing on this layer. Okay, so I have my new layer here. Let's delete this one. Delete, remove. Yep, and I'm gonna start working with this one. Okay, let's go to the attribute table. Add. I'm gonna name this field height, and it will be numeric. And the data type will be double, and then you can hit save. So right now it will save. There will be no problem because it's already is not being used. It's the same layer, but I just like a copy of the layer. Okay, so if I close this, I already saved my work. I will find another attribute field named height here, but it's empty. I believe it will be zeros. So do you guys remember if we want to do process on a field, we click on this field and double click, and then you will find field calculator in ArcGIS desktop. Here is calculate field. You will do calculate field, and it will open like a table and ask you, what is this height equal to? And you can pick the height as a function of the number of stories. So I can look, what is the number of stories field here? Let's see, we have number of units, number of stories, yeah, here. So I can say that the height is equal to the number of stories. I have the number of stories here multiplied. So this is the multiplication by 10 feet. So this is just like a normal any function that you want to put. Like if you want to get the flood height from the water surface elevation. You guys remember we made a function that can capture the flood that's measured from the FFE from the water surface elevation. So we subtracted the FFE from the water surface elevation and got the flood height. Same thing, you can write it here. But I want to mention that there's two ways to do mathematical operations here. There is a one based on Python 3 and there is a one based on ArcGIS. So I never used ArcGIS. I use Python 3. It's just like a different way to write the elements. You guys remember we didn't used to have this exclamation mark in between the field back because we use Visual Basic in ArcGIS desktop. Here you have two exclamation mark here multiplied by 10. And actually it's automatic. Like you just click on number of stories, he knows what to do, and then you click on the multiplication and multiply by the number. That's it. And then I will say okay. And then I will hit apply. I will take a few seconds. Right now.
I don't see number of stories in the fields.
In the one that you have?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so it's maybe you have different folder. Maybe because of that. I'm using like different folder.
But the one we have doesn't have it. That's what I'm trying to say. Like,
okay, right.
Oh, okay.
So you don't have to use it. Like I'm just like giving an example. Yeah.
Okay, I was trying to do that.
Yeah. No worries. You can make a one. You can say the height is like 10 foot or 20 foot. Just put any random number. Okay, so now I have my building's height here. Some of them are 20, which reflects that you have 2 stories, 2 by 10. Some of them are 10, which means 1 story. Some of them are 150. That means that this building is a 15 story. All right, so I'm still, like I can close the shapefile right now. I'm still can see the building in 3D and all of them are just polygons, something like this. Let's see how can we convert this from a 2D. This is a new thing that we didn't learn before. How can we convert from 2D function to 3D function? How can we do that? Basically, we need a building height and that's what we did. And we get it like in an indirect way, like we use the number of stories and then we assume a story height, which is kind of reasonable. Sometimes the story height is different from a building to a building, but basically it's 3 meters or 10 feet, 9 feet, something like this. And then I'll use this to ask ArcGIS Pro to convert this layer to a 3D layer. That a question? Okay. All right. So how to do it? You'll have to click on the layer and then let me get this down and you will go to the feature layer here and then you will have the type. You will change it to maximum height. And then right now it will be converted to 3D. So the feature layer, the feature is converted from a 2D to 3D by just like giving that I'm gonna create a 3D layer based on the maximum height of the building. Okay, but it will ask you what is the height of the building. So I will tell ArcGIS Pro, take the maximum height of the building from a field name is called height. So we'll go to height and we'll ask you what is the unit in this field. So let's use US feet. Just a representative. So let's use US feet and then wait for a few seconds until the map load. It will take a little bit to generate the 3D layer. So finally, I did this actually for a bunch of different cities like Santa Clara County, Lumberton, North Carolina. And recently I did the same thing for the Miami-Dade County. So this is just like a video that shows you how's the 3D for Miami-Dade County look like. And the buildings is color-coded based on their archetypes, like the building use. So this is the buildings on Miami Beach. And then as soon as you go in, you will find buildings that are different in their story height. You can do this, but you can do this for any community, but you need to have data about this community.
You did this.
Yeah. And this is the first phase is that you build, you can do this. You will do this for homework. You will be able to do this. This is not difficult at all. It's just like one click as I showed you. You just like need to have the data. So The second step is that you will overlay a hazard map that you have either for Galveston or Lumberton or whatever hazard map that you have over this layer so that you identify which buildings are exposed and which buildings are not exposed. This is the hazard map that I was able to get it online for Miami-Dade County. Shows you like almost Miami-Dade County is under flooding. Like there's no yeah. So here it's just like shows you that you have like some flooding, and actually the color codes here, like the purple, the pink is like more than 1.7 meter. The blue is like around 0.5 to 1 meter. So this areas that are exposed, this area is not exposed. So this is how it looks like. This is just a video. I have the folder, but it will take like maybe 10 minutes to open it. Let's see if it's loaded here. Yeah, it's loaded here. So right now, here's our buildings are 3D. Can you see? Okay, so this is all our 3D. This building looks much bigger than this building. If we want them more representative, let's see if we said that the 10 meter is not feet, is meters. Like each story is 10 meter height. I'm gonna use this so that you can feel how is the height difference look like between buildings. All right, yeah. So just like go to the hazard part. Even the videos is long. It's loading out. It will take some time. Yeah, let's get back to the video. Yeah. So here, the different colors, actually, I was able to get some data about Miami. It tells you what is the use of each building in like 100 category. Like here, it will show you, let me get back here and show you what I got. Yeah, here, like you'll find a building is classified as automotive or marine, like a business. Avocado Grove, Board of Public Instruction, commercial buildings, community shopping center, containers nursery, so county, Miami-Dade County. So every color represent different building use. Heavy industrial building, home for aged people or healthcare facility, hospital. So there's lots of information about the buildings. So let's see how can we color code the buildings. Like how can we make these buildings has different colors. So if we go back
to make the whole field.
And just like kind of visualization, you see how's your city look like. This is how you attract people to your maps. And this is kind of tools like 3D is very important with risk communication. Like, okay, we did flood risk and we did everything's coding. What if we want to communicate our results with non-professional guys like emergency managers? You need to see maps. If they have maps 2D, they can't read it. But if they have maps as 3D, that will be much better. Let's say we are going to communicate our risk analysis with the public. So if you have somebody in the public have a mobile application and can access this 3D map and see his building, it will be much more informative to see your building in 3D. So 3D is much way better that you communicate your results in 2D. Yeah, okay. So right now I have the 3D buildings for Galveston County. So all of them has the same color because they haven't been differentiated based on anything like use, number of stories, whatever you want. So what I will do is I will click on this building and I will go to symbology, and it changed the color of the buildings based on something. So let's change based on the flood archetype. We have 15 flood archetype, 4 residential and maybe 5 commercial and 3 social. So let's see how they will look like. So let me expand this a little bit. And here right now, the primary symbology is based on a single symbol. What I'm gonna do right now, do a unique value. And I will ask you, what is the unique value that you want to use? I'm gonna say that I'm gonna make these are unique by the flood archetype, F archetype. Then it will take few minutes until it's changing the colors of these buildings based on their archetype. You can actually change the colors based on their risk, flood risk, based on their building height, whatever you would like. Right. I think, yeah, here we go. Will take some time until changing all of them. Yeah, here's the thing. As you can see, this building, actually the pink one is really high, like it's a tall building. But this one is kind of like a small building adjacent to this building. And when we did archetype mapping, all them are in the same parcel. Like all these buildings have the same parcel data. And we didn't have information about the buildings. We have information about the parcel. Like the parcel tell us that there is a 5 building in this parcel. Do you guys know what is the parcel? Just like for you who doesn't know, I think I talked about the parcel before. Parcel is like when you have your own home, your own home is like in a parcel, something like this. You only have one building inside the parcel, but for commercial buildings and for city buildings, you might have 5 or 6 buildings in the same parcel. Some of these buildings have a 10-story, some of them are 1-story, 2-story. But what we have for Galveston is just parcel data. So what we did is we got the polygons inside a parcel. Assume that this is the parcel. I have a polygon here, polygon there. And then I don't have information about the building, but I have information about the parcel. I assigned all the information of the parcel to the buildings. So all of them got the same information and the same number of stories and everything. So this was inevitable because we didn't have information about the building. So right now, all these buildings are in the same parcel and all of them got the same height. However, this one is the one is tall, this one has different one, this one has the same thing here. Can you see? It's definitely, there's no building that is very thin and that's high, okay? Same thing that I faced when I did the mapping for Galveston County. There's an amusement park. You guys know like carousel or like a very tall ring. There is no way to make a shape file that has this stuff. So it's seen as a, like it was on the map as a polygon. So let me see how it looks like here. There's amusement park on the beach somewhere. I'm not sure, like, yeah, somewhere here. Yeah, here. Can you see? Okay, let me. Yeah, here. This is amusement park and it shows as buildings. However, in real life, okay, Google.
Do we need to read in 3D or can we do it?
Just 2D is enough, but I'm telling you how to do 3D. It's more fancy, isn't it?
Yep. Kind of easier to find everything too, like everything is.
Yeah, but you know what? It was really hard for me to find how to convert 2D to 3D. Try to search online, you will not find it. Just search on Google. It will take some time. Like I had to do some search and it was very easy. Like it was just like changing few things.
Maybe because it's newer, and it's like new tools, they haven't created the videos yet.
Yeah, maybe. But you know, like when you present your data in a conference, this totally changed how people like looking at what you are presenting.
This is visualization.
Yeah, that's what I'm telling. Like this is how 3D, like when you keep talking science and maybe some people in a conference, they don't know what you are talking about because they are from earthquake background or from different backgrounds, or they don't even do community level analysis. So they cannot imagine what you are talking about. So when you show them everything in 3D, they just like look at the maps, like, and that's what I make when I'm in a conference. I have less scientific, like not lots of equations, just like some results that anybody, general public can hear it. Like maybe you have emergency managers, maybe you have non-academic people, they want to understand it.
Like, people become bored, they don't
Yep.
understand things, but see them, it's like they're engaged.
And I believe this is how like this guy from this company communicate with me, because he needs people to do this for him. So that's why he saw that maybe you guys got exposed how to do it. Like, okay, let's see how it looks here. I believe it's here. Can you see? All right, I will take a little bit of time. Can you see the amusement park?
Um,
So you'll have here, this is kind of like a circle, and you'll have a circle, some polygons. And if you look here at the maps, so the circles start to be a circle building. That's how we have it. Yeah. So I believe that differences will be very, very small. Like you will feel like you are exactly in the city with these building thing. Like if you look here at these buildings, I just like this is not realistic. Do you guys remember I made the 10 meter as the height, just like to distinguish the difference? If you want to make it a little bit realistic, if this is a one story, it should be like only 3 meter height, not 10 meter height, or you keep the units in feet. All right, so this is one of the things. Let's see what other things that we can do here. So basically, if you want, for example, to convert these building polygons to these building polygons to points, basically all what you will have to do, you can search here and say feature. You're right. Feature to, oh, sorry, wait, polygons to feature. To feature. Okay, here we have split features. There is feature to polygon.
it's feature point.
Oh yeah, feature to point, sorry. Feature to point. Yeah, so I have it here. So what I will do, I will grab this. Let me, here's the geoprocessing. Yeah, this is what we are gonna do. It's a floating bar. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna like pin it so it doesn't go away. And then I will put this here, and this is the input feature. And the output feature, I'm gonna select the folder, the output feature, and I will name it the same, but I will change it from poly to point. And I will say save. And then once you set up the input feature and the output feature, you say run. And once you run, it will show you in a bar down there how does the process look like. That tells you it's finished, not finished. And once it's finished, it will be loaded in the 2D layer. Can you see? We have a point here with the building point. So this is one thing. So either you can search as we did in ArcMap here, or you can go to analysis and you will find tools. And when you open tools, you can search here about the tools that you want. Okay, so let's now see how can we convert from point to raster. Do you guys remember the wind speed map? Which is in the homework. So let's see how can we convert. So first, let's say add data, map, add data. And right now I'll add data XY point because this is the homework file that you have. I will check, go to the homework file. Now here, I think it's lecture 9. Yeah, here. So I have the wind grid for Hurricane Michael. I will click on the CSV file of this grid. Just try to make sure if you have your Excel file in XLSX, convert it to CSV so that you can do this process. It's like very easy. Okay, let me open this outside. I go to lecture 9. Here's the Hurricane Michael. This is the track. This is the wind grid. I'll open this wind grid. It's an Excel format. So the wind grid is latitude, longitude, and the gust wind speed in mile per hour and the sustained wind speed in mile per hour. So basically, I will save this file as browse, and I will save it to CSV, delimited file. So you can one of these extensions, either Excel, but the one when we deal with GIS, it's always CSV. And then you will say save. Okay, let's get back here and let's bring this layer and I will say, okay. By the way, this data is for Hurricane Michael, which made a landfall in Florida. Right now we are in Texas. So we need to go to Florida. I'm not sure if the data is already here. XY. Oh, okay. Yeah, so the data is here. I'll just like choose the folder again. Michael wind grid. Yeah. So here's the input data from the table, and it asks you where do you want the output shape file, the points. I'll say that I want the points here, and I will name this folder Hurricane Michael points dot shape file. I'll say save. And then he captured the longitude is the X field and the latitude is the Y field. Yes, it is. And then I will say run. So right now it's running the data, reading the XY of each point and map them to the base map that we have here. It's done. Okay, so right now we have them on the map, but we cannot see them. Why? We are still in Texas. So what I do to see them, I right click on the layer and you will find zoom to the layer. So it will take us where is the extent of the whole layer at. As you know from last time, it was a map was 1 kilometer by 1 kilometer or maybe 10 by 10 for the entire exposed area of the US. So it's lots of points. So we'll take some time to load all these points. Yeah, it's here. All these are very points close to each other that are separated by 1 kilometer by 1 kilometer. The next step is to convert these points from feature to raster. So I just like type here in the search feature to raster. We'll find feature to raster. I click on it, and then I will, when it opens, I will drag the shape file. This one is the feature here. And the field that I want to rasterize it is the whatever you want, the gust wind speed, the sustained wind speed. So I will check the gust wind speed in mile per hour. I'll check this field. And ask you, where do you want me to save this raster at? I will say save this raster. Let's make a new folder and we'll say raster files. Because raster is different from shape files. And we will say hurricane.
When we import the data from the Excel sheet saved as shape file?
No, it was, we imported Excel and he asked us, where do you want me to save the shape file at?
Oh.
So it was converted to shape file. And I'll say save. And ask you about the cell size. I made it automatic. Okay. This is not right. Say there is something wrong here. Do you know what is the wrong here? I forgot to write the extension. You will have to write the extension of the file. This file is .tif, which is a raster. Let's see what will happen when we write the extension. Okay, right now the X is gone. That means everything's right. When you see the X, that means there is something wrong that you did, or he cannot convert it to this extension. So when I put the TIF, it means like he knows that this is a raster. Then I will say run. All right, so let's remove these points. Here's how's the map look like. It was very easy. It takes 5 minutes. Excel, shapefile, and then raster map. This is how the wind speed looked like. This is called the wind field of the Hurricane Michael. So this is how the wind speed was maximum here. And then when outside of the hurricane circle, it gets less. But as I told you, this is not enough to do detailed damage and risk analysis. This is very high resolution. Usually who uses these hazard maps is insurance companies because they want to identify the impact of all the hazard on all the buildings in the US. So who use a high level or low resolution hazard map to know that. Because insurance doesn't focus on a specific area. Insurance want to know how much insured losses he has all over the US. If you want to import the hurricane track, I can go add data, or basically I can make this half on my screen and go to the folder that I have the data. I think I have the data somewhere here. Shape files, Hurricane Michael raster. I have the track as an Excel file, but I believe we create, yeah, Hurricane Michael track. So let's drop this, the line. So this is Hurricane Michael track shape file as a line. Let me make this line black and much bigger. So if you want to change the property of any layer like this line, I want to make it thicker. So you can change it actually to 5-point thick, and you can change the color maybe to green, and then you will have to hit apply so it can apply your changes. Here's the thing is that you will have to hit apply on anything, so that you can see the changes that you made. Right, so what do you guys think? Is it difficult, much easier, same thing?
Definitely, it's much fancier. All right, so this is how we deal with ArcGIS Pro. Any tool that you want, you go to the search tool and then search whatever you want. Even if you don't know the tool, just feature to point to feature, raster to feature. You'll find different one, you'll find it. Okay, so I show you something very, very fancy and it helps with damage assessment. This is a thing that I did for Mexico Beach, Florida. So what if some people went to the field to do damage assessment? And this team is making a damage assessment, but we will have to transfer some data to do damage assessment as well to people who live in different states or live or stay in their office. So they do take what's called geotag pictures. Like you have your camera, activate the geotagging. So when you take a picture, it captures your location and embed it inside the picture. So if I take a picture of you right now and activating the geotag in my camera, so the picture will have the GIS location of the picture inside it. What if we want to bring this into our maps, or some people went to the field, like 10 or 15 people went to Mexico Beach, Florida after Hurricane Michael, take hundreds of pictures of damaged buildings, and these images are geocoded, and they want to send it to the people in the office to assess the damage, to give like damage scale, damage assessment or something. How these people do that, let's see. Okay, first let's do an example on Mexico Beach, Florida. So I will get some data about Mexico Beach here. I'll have lecture 15 shape files. I have, not this one. I think it's lecture 13. Let's go to shape files. Yeah, let's put this building polygons here. All right, let me check the attribute table. Yeah. Oh, I don't think this is Lumberton. Oh, let's go to CRC project. Mexico Beach.
Okay, let's take this file here. Okay, so this is Mexico Beach. Let's zoom on these buildings. So this is the building polygons of Mexico Beach before Hurricane Michael, because they are completely different after Hurricane Michael. There's definitely many buildings were swapped out and removed. So this is what is the building inventory before the hurricane. And let me zoom in to this layer. Oh, the bar. So you guys are not lucky enough to to see. Oh, okay. Yeah, I heard something stopped here, and you guys heard
Yeah.
everything stopped.
Even
It's another time. That's another time. Maybe they didn't like handle my ArcGIS Pro. All right. Okay. Hopefully it will not cut again. An attribute table. Okay, I have 400 buildings. Let's zoom to the layer. Okay, yeah, here we go. All right, so actually he read this layer as a 3D, but let's see what we have here. I don't know why it takes that much time. So this is Mexico Beach, Florida. And actually this base map reflects what is the state of the buildings there. All these buildings were damaged. The one that you see is removed. All these buildings were damaged by Hurricane Michael. So if we go here and search it, Mexico Beach, Florida. Okay, so how about if oh, okay. So they are on the map, but they are on the map, looks like. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give them a 3D. So I will say that these buildings doesn't have height. So I'm gonna change the feature, say give a maximum height from the field that is called height. And let's say they are in meter. I believe they should be showing up. All right, so let's do something. Let's check. I'll check this. Takes some time. Oh yeah, here we go. It just take a little bit of time. Let's put the world imagery back. Okay, so here's the building. If you want to change their how they look like and color code them based on building archetype, we have wind archetype, flood archetype, many types of archetypes assigned to these buildings. So I'm gonna color code them based on the archetypes that we have. So they will be color coded something like this. Can you see? This is how the building inventory looked like before Hurricane Michael. And I was about to show you, this is the state of damage after Hurricane Michael. Can you guys see the debris? Yeah, so all these buildings were damaged. All these buildings from here were completely destroyed, like hundreds of buildings, maybe 200 or something, like damage state 4, complete damage. And some of them are like surviving here, but actually they have very severe damage, like damage state 3 or maybe 4. So the next thing is I want to show you how can I have images geotagged and import them here. So I have on this hard drive like 10 gigabytes of images from Hurricane, like people from, I think, Steer. Steer is kind of like a group funded by the National Science Foundation. They go after hurricanes. I participated with them was Hurricane Ian that happens last year. But they usually go after hurricanes, taking footage of the state of damage. So they take a bunch of pictures and let me check the location on my hard drive. So here, my work PC, CRC project, Mexico Beach. Yeah, this one. Okay, I have this pictures, this photos here from the damage. So can you see all these photos for damaged buildings, like taken from the field, something like this? What I want to do, I want to open these pictures from the map. Like I know the location, I'm on a building right now. I know the location and I have the shapefile and everything. I want to see these pictures on the map. So how can I do it? So I will grab the extension. Where's the location of these images? And I will go back to here and I will search about tools called geotagged photos, 2 points. So I have a geotagged photos and I want to convert them to a shapefile. We'll ask you where is the input folder? I put the extension that I copied. The output folder will be the location in our lectures, shapefiles. Let's put Mexico Beach.shp shapefile. I'll say save. And invalid photos, I will keep it empty and I hit run. Will take few. I only have 400 buildings, so it depends on the number of photos, but I mean the size of the area is not that big, so it will not take that much time. Oh, I converted to shapefile. Maybe there will be some. I need to make it a geodatabase file. Okay, let's see what we'll have here. So if you want to see the building inventory before Hurricane Michael on Google Maps, so you click on this clock on the top, and you can actually find how the state of building inventory in a city currently right now. So this is how Mexico Beach looked like in 2023. Like many of these buildings didn't recover, like they didn't build back. Let's go back 1 year. This is 2020. Like still, like they haven't been recovered since 2019. This is just after the hurricane in 2018. This is few years before the hurricane, like in 2014. Can you see how the building inventory looked like? It was like full stacked with buildings. All right, so it's almost 99%. So you will find a shapefile here and like a picture simple. And this is the points where there is a picture. You can click on each picture, something like this. And basically you will have a bar. It's called like a boop-up bar, something like this. And you can have it on the side. Like I can click here on the side, just like so that I can see my map. And I will dock this back here, and it tells you if you want to see this picture, click on this link. So once you click on this link, the picture will open. Then you can see the state of damage for each building. Like I can go here and click on this picture. I click on this, I will open that, I will find the link, and then I will be able to see how the damage at this point look like. And actually this is multiple pictures, like 3 pictures were taken for this building, like from different sides. This is just like 1 day or 2 days after the hurricane. This is from the inside. How's the damage? If you want to do physical assessment from the inside. So this is actually what I do when I did damage assessment for all these buildings from my office. So right now they take pictures, but they didn't tell us what is the damage state for each building. So what I did, I used these pictures along with Google Street Map view and kept assessing all these buildings one by one. Like if I open this shape file for you, I can't share this shape file with you because this is kind of research thing. So I spent like few weeks, not this one, yeah, this one, collecting detailed data about this building. Like, let me tell you, this is building by building for 400 buildings. Each building, I assign an archetype. So how did I know that this building is archetype for? I was in Google Street Map view, seeing the building, is it residential, commercial, the number of stories, the roof shape. And here I put everything like the diverse floor elevation of the building, the wind archetype, the flood archetype, the damage assessment for the roof, my damage assessment, how I assess the roof. Is it damage state 1, 2, 3, or 4? How I did walls assessment, foundation assessment, openings like windows, doors, interior damage. Like if this building I saw, like as I show you in some pictures here, you will find all the interiors outside in this picture. So this is how you know the state of damage of the interior. Like these people got all their interior out, so all these are completely damaged. So yep, here is the opening, interior, and other people did damage. There is some groups did other damage. Like there is a group led by Ken made a damage assessment, and actually there's a bunch of groups did their damage assessment. We did for this project, like just to give you some experience. The thing is, my damage assessment will be completely different from your damage assessment. You will see the damage from different sides. We all have the same sheet that describe the damage. Like damage state 1, it should be a certain level of damage for the roof, a certain level of damage to the windows, the doors. But when every one of us do this damage assessment, maybe you give this building damage state 2, I give this building damage state 3. Not only from the pictures, if we both are in the field and we bring the same team, do this damage assessment, definitely other team may have different damage assessment. So we did this because we needed to propagate uncertainties in the damage assessment based on humans. If we have 5 and one of them gave damage state 1, 2 gave damage state 2, and 3 give damage state 3. So we can build a normal distribution and see what is the uncertainty in the damage assessment from somebody to else. So this is kind of ideas for you related to damage assessment. So yeah, this is one of, actually you can do this in ArcGIS desktop, but here's much more fancy. You can open link and stuff like this. But basically this is the most important things that we need to learn about ArcGIS Pro so that you can use it for your project or your homework. Does any of you have any question? Everything's easy, smooth. Okay, so I started a lecture to make this shift, but anyway, I hope you guys learn it from it. And I think you guys can start the homework. I shift the homework to be not due to today, so you still have until Wednesday. I believe it's, if I did it in front of you. Look at my lecture, the recorded one, and just apply the same thing, and it will be very easy.
After the folders that we submit for the home, just the shape file, not the whole folder.
Yeah, the shape files that I can see the results, and the raster map. And I need a Word file, just the screenshots of the raster map and screenshots of the shape file. Just Word file, take a screenshot based, and that's it, and a folder that has your name.
Okay.
and you compress them, and I think you compress the shape files because they are mini folders, and you keep the Word file alone. So you upload two files, the Word, and you can, because you know the shape files is kind of like, it's not one folder, one file. It will be something like this. For the same ones, you'll have bunch. So you mark them, compress them. And the Word file is only one Word file. Okay? Fair enough?
I have a question. So when I was working on the assignment, I was looking at, I know in the class you use a different website to get the DEM, digital elevation map.
Yeah.
So I used a DEM, I think you gave us two options.
Yeah,
Get it from
USGS or
USGS. Yeah, so I used the other one. And so,
no?
yes, I used NOAA.
Okay.
So I think they had like 3 maps. So I used the method we taught us to merge the three and then did the evaluation. And so I was comparing my results with that of Omar. Like they're like, okay, it's used one digital elevation map and it's a different digital elevation.
Each one of them use the elevation map.
Yeah,
Yeah, it will be different.
but the results were not the same. So because because I was looking at the number of houses that were flooded, right, after doing the subtraction of water, but it wasn't a lot of people.
Yeah, so this is normal because one of also part of my research in the past is to check different resolution and how these resolutions impact the flood risk assessment. See how the process look like. You use the DEM to extract the flood depths, and you use the DEM also in the hydrodynamic modeling. Like for me, I use it in hydrodynamic modeling, so it gives you different flood depths and also affects the like the final thing when the digital elevation map is the one you have a digital elevation map and you have the flood depths and you subtract, so it's kind of interdependent. So definitely you will have. Actually, I tried 1 meter, 10 meter, 30 meter. So all of these will give you different, but it shouldn't be that much different.
Yeah.
Maybe at some spots, it could be really, really different, but other spots, I believe the majority should be like a very small difference. And that's why there's some researchers or some research out there tells you, is it reasonable to go high resolution when we do work with community level analysis? Like for example, okay, I can go to 1 meter depth and I do lots of things. And all this will take much more time, and this time is money, right? Because you hire engineers to do that. And finally, it will give you the same output when you do community level. Maybe at the building level, it's okay, but when we do risk assessment at the community level, maybe it's not that big difference. And that's why researchers needed to tell us, do we really need to move to high resolution or use high resolution map? Does it really impact the risk analysis? How much difference it is? And is that really worth it? So something like this, but yeah.
I can only confirm that that's not.
Yeah, that's definitely normal. Yeah. All right, that sounds good. I believe you guys can start doing the homework. Our midterm is on Wednesday next week, okay? And what I'm gonna do is, there's a little bit, I'm trying to work something out. It's not gonna be a take-home exam. And what I'm thinking it will be on Canvas and you can do it from home. And what you will do is the exam will open for 2 hours on Canvas. So you will have to be on time on Canvas because if you miss the time slot, you will be missing the exam. I'm not sure about the timing yet. It will be 4 questions, but maybe if it's gonna exceed the lecture time, which is the 75 minutes, I'm gonna cancel Monday lecture so that you allocate the 2 hours of the exam to Wednesday. So we might not have a lecture on Monday, but the exam will be like 2 hours, not 75 minutes, okay? And then on Canvas, what will happen is it will be modules. So everyone will have different questions. And after you solve, it will show you the right answer and it tells you if you are right or wrong, but that doesn't mean like you will lose all the points. That what you will have is you will solve everything on paper and then you will take a copies and PDF them and upload them. There's actually, you can take pictures and upload the pictures on Canvas. So you will find after the end of the exam, file upload. So once you take the pictures, upload them as a file upload on Canvas. Have you guys done Canvas exams before?
Yeah.
You done?
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys are familiar with the process.
Yes.
But there's different ways for the Canvas exams, but I'm just like telling you this is how I'm gonna do it, because some people like with the exam, but this exam is time limited, like it will open maybe at the lecture time at 12:30 and it will close at 2:30. Like after 2:30, you cannot access the exam. And if it's hour and a half, so well, the same thing will open at 12:30 and close at 2. So you will not be, because some exams it's 2 hours and you can access the exam anytime during the day, and you will access the exam only one time, so you cannot get out, because you will get a different exam and you cannot start the time from the verse. So if you will have any technical issues, you just email me and I will fix it from my end. And so I will be online.
Sometimes Canvas disconnects or like.
Yeah,
just
you
take
email
one.
me and I'll figure it out. So I will be online. So
I wanna solve fix.
what was that?
Submit the answer and give the correct answer, and then I have to submit the paper.
Multiple choice, you submit the work.
So after you submit, because you will not get the right answer, you say submit. But when you say submit, you already submitted the answers. Then you will see the right answers
Okay.
on each one. Actually, each question you will have lots of steps. So I'm not asking you the steps in the questions. You will show me the steps written on the paper that you uploaded. So only show you one answer, but you will show me the steps. It will be great on
I
the
was
steps.
thinking about if I did the question wrong, I can like rethink.
No, you will not be able to do that because you already submitted the exam. So you will
No,
only,
I already submitted, but I can do that on paper. I'll be uploaded.
you will not be able to see the answers until you upload your exam.
Oh,
So-
good.
Because when you upload it will not be uploaded until you hit submit.
Mm.
So once you hit submit, it will be transferred and you cannot change any.
Okay.
So we won't come on Wednesday.
I will confirm with you next lecture. Just like I'm still like trying to think because I have to make the modules and everything, so it will take lots of time. Because I have to develop functions and all of these stuff, so it might take time. If I'm able to do that, so we'll go this process. If not, so we will come and distribute the papers and that's it. But hopefully I will be able to do it that way. It will be much more convenient for all of us.
Yes.
And it's one submission for all the work, right? Not for each question.
Oh yeah, all of them in the same, like you will have one PDF, have everything.
Okay, perfect.
Some, like I did this exams before, some people like try to take pictures and upload separate, but it's much better for me
Yeah.
when I,
It's good to take,
Grading.
it might take like a lot of time if we just like
Yeah.
each question.
all right, so sounds great.
And that's next week, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next Monday, okay.